Well, welcome back to Gabbing Geek, your favorite blabcast where we talk about movies and TV and fantasy and science fiction and comic books and video games and all things geeky. This is episode 66, or as we're going to call it, Summer Lovin' and Hatin'.
Bring it on.
It's summer. Do you know, like, depending on how you count summer's kind of like half over. Like, that's kind of depressing.
The 21st was...
Yeah, well, like, there's the calendar one. Yeah, but the actual technical season has just started, but it feels like it's already over, right? It feels like the August movies are coming. Well, anyway, we'll talk all about that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about things that we've been disappointed in, things that we're still looking forward to. My name is Ryan Garcia, and with me, as almost always, is Jimmy Moose-loving Impossible.
What? What? Did I just get bumped from top billing? I mean, I'm okay with
That's
you're
right.
always here.
Watson, how long has it been? You're always last.
That's true. No, because Tom sometimes last.
You're always last. Just wait.
Okay.
We build it up
Please
to it.
continue.
All right. Also
continue.
with us is Tom cat-loving Kelly, because he does love some cat. Where's the cat? Yeah. And finishing us off for tonight's sausage party is William self-loving Watson.
Twice a day, whether I need it or not.
That's right. Because you'll notice not with us tonight is Jenny canal-loving Newman. She's still getting over some jet lag from being in Panama. No, Watson, not Panama.
Okay.
Not what you
My
were
mind
thinking.
went somewhere else on that one.
Yeah. Oh, you were thinking like the Suez Canal? Is that what you were thinking? Like Middle East? Yeah.
The canals.
Eerie. It was so eerie what I was thinking.
Oh, well played.
Thank you,
I'll drink to that.
I will as well. All right.
Yeah. Tom, Jimmy, what are you guys drinking tonight? I have a cider.
I don't have anything. I think Watson's preferred body of water the Islas of Langerhans, but
and Jimmy is drinking. They call that the light beer of Canada. That's Coke Zero.
Mm-hmm.
That's still stronger than your beer.
Oh, burn.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Do you have a beer named Canada? Mic
Yes.
drop. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, wait, you do?
you
Oh,
have
never
a
mind.
good beer named Canada?
Well, now wait. Come on.
Arguable.
That's
Let's
a
geek
high
out.
standard.
Come on, let's geek
It
out.
is time. All right. So summer, like I was saying, summer could be half over. It could be just starting. It's feeling like it feels more like half over to me because we're already in July. You know, there's not that many movie releases coming out. And then there's the movies that are at the end of July, beginning of August, which, the studios are just like, blah, maybe it'll make some money. Maybe it won't. The big hits have kind of come and gone. The summer. What's that?
Nothing. Never
Yeah, I know. We haven't had huge ones. Well, Finding Dory.
Yeah, I guess
2
so.
weekends there. It's done.
There was that Civil one.
But that was
Civil
early.
War.
Now that Civil War doesn't count. That was
Didn't that kind of
pre-Memorial Day.
Kick off
See, but what's summer anymore? I don't know, but we're in it. We do know that. We can all agree that we're in summer. So what we thought we'd do is let's skip the GNOs, let's skip the games, because we'd like to actually do 2 podcasts in a row. And so that we find that not doing a game helps that greatly. There's a correlation, not causation. But what we thought we'd do is we go around the horn and talk about what have we been disappointed in this summer so far, and what are we still looking forward to. Right? So yes, there's the bad. There's always the bad. But there's some good still out there in the world. There's some hope that we can cling to. And speaking of clinging, Watson, what is your first disappointment of the summer? Or your disappointment? I mean, the first of all.
So, I was kind of puzzled as to what to talk about, because it's not so much disappointment. It's just like there was nothing I was really looking forward to that underperformed. Because this was just like such a dull summer, right? Which kind of is a disappointment in and of itself. So I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go, my favorite thing about the summer is my biggest disappointment, because I have to wait a whole year, because I freaking hate television, but somehow there's one show I watch, and the greatest season of any television show ever just ended, and now I have to wait.
American Ninja Warrior.
American
I totally agree.
Ninja Warrior.
I mean,
why can't
the woman in the Wonder Woman suit, the guy in the
no,
T-Rex costume.
no, it's Game of Thrones. It's Game of Thrones.
Oh, really?
Tom, I know Tom's the only one up to date with me. No spoilers, people. But
the trees, man, the trees.
This was such a good season. I mean, like, literally this year, season 6 pushed Game of Thrones past Breaking Bad for me for the best drama of all time. Now, it still has to stay there because it has to end well, because Breaking Bad ended well. But
Yes.
season 6 was so damn good. Ryan is even going to catch up. He is going to put his George R.R. Martin hatred aside and catch up and binge watch.
No, I'm going to fuel it by watching.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm not. I don't put hatred aside. I think we can all agree on that.
Okay, so a popular character emerged. No spoilers. It was a popular young girl character emerged, and George R. R.
Was
Martin.
it the sloping wall that they have to climb up at the very end?
No.
You to hit the buzzer to go on to the semifinals.
That was an American Ninja Warrior.
Aren't we? We're not talking about
We're
Ninja
talking
Warrior?
Game of
talking
Thrones.
about the new girl character Game of Thrones who wore the Wonder Woman costume.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
okay, that makes sense. But there is a wall still in Game of Thrones, right?
Let me continue.
We called Amanda.
So George R. R. Martin tweeted, "Oh, you like so and so? Ha ha ha!" Like he's gonna kill her off. And I just sat there and I thought, I don't care what George R. R. Martin says anymore. He's irrelevant. Like the series,
when are you going to kill her off?
this
Like
series
in
passed-
20 years?
Yeah, passed him by. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It made me sad because I really like the books, but the series has just moved past the man. Tom, you like the series. I mean, can you imagine waiting another year for essentially, I think they say they have 13 more hours and they're going to split it over 2 years, which means the next season, like next June, or I think is when it's supposed to be released, is going to be like 6 or 7 episodes. I mean, is this just devastating that we're going to have to wait a whole year for 6 episodes? I mean, this is this television stuff you guys talk about. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Tom?
Well, I've found ways to compensate for a sudden lack of Thrones. At the wonderful gabbinggeek.com, a fine piece of online entertainment reading that should be observed by anyone hearing this blab, which apparently the 4 guys currently conducting it.
I read it on a monthly basis.
Oh, okay.
No,
I find projects to keep myself occupied, and I look forward to it. But I think it's actually going to be 14 or 15 episodes. But
and wait, can we agree that they're going to stretch that into 3 seasons? There is no way that they're going to do that in 2.
They should do one more season to be done.
But you said that. But you made the comparison to Breaking Bad, and that's exactly what they did with Breaking Bad. They said, "Oh, we only have 1 more season left," and then about a month before they started to air that, they said, "It's 1 season. We're just going to chop it in 2 and air it a year apart."
But they've already said there's 13 more hours. Like literally, they've said that.
Yeah, they are clearly.
That's 5, and 3. I mean, I don't know.
They're clearly setting up an end game at this point.
I think there's a prequel coming, though. I think there's a prequel coming.
Oh, you think they'll do Duncan Egg?
Duncan. Well, no, I mean, I think they'll even go back further, like maybe the First Men or something.
He's done tons of like side stories.
Yeah, Duncan Egg.
Stories and graphic novels. Like he did a really large graphic novel called The Hedge Knight, which is all just a side story that took place during the first book. So. There's tons of stuff they can do.
So that's my big disappointment. Okay. Ryan, Jimmy, you're way behind, right? Any chances you're going to catch up, or are you just going to wait until like it's over?
What episode is this? 66?
Yeah.
60 should just be 60, right? It's 10.
No, 66, Gabbing Geek.
Yeah, so 122 maybe. Check back. We'll see.
I'll put it on the calendar.
Okay.
That should be in like 14 years because we're on George R. R. Martin's schedule around
That's
here.
Interesting.
Ryan, you're
going to
catch
Gabbing
up.
Geek 100 before book 6 comes out of the Game of Thrones saga.
Okay, I'm going to call it now. Nobody but Ryan and I know this, but in Gabbing Geek 100, there will be a big reveal.
That's true.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see that.
Jenny doesn't know. Ryan and I know. Ryan, what made you you texted me the other day that you're going to start binging the series? What kind of got you back? Because you were militant there for a while.
It's a combination of it's something that you hinted on, which is like the show is now not about George R. R. Martin anymore. I'm angry at George R. R. Martin. You know, and so to me, you know, maybe he'll do something different with the book, but I'm certainly done with the books.
Mhm.
Like it's no longer worth it.
Yeah.
Maybe when the other books come out, I'll read a summary of something. But it's more that, you know, people are talking about it, which says that it's good, right?
Oh,
It's still
fantastic.
maintained that crossover.
Mhm.
I've been able to successfully avoid most of the spoilers, which
That's
I
good.
wasn't able to do with the first couple of seasons. Like I knew kind of what the Red Wedding was.
Well, you
before I
watched that episode, didn't you? Didn't you
No.
check in on that? Was it Purple Wedding that you?
Well, because I'd read the books already, so I did watch that episode. Yeah, I just wanted to see how they handled it. But so I'm kind of curious as to how the story ends. And you know, HBO has proven, or the producers have proven, that they've done a good job with it. So, yeah, I may give it a try.
Phenomenal. So that's
see.
my
We'll see.
disappointment.
Okay.
Not that the show was bad. The show was phenomenal. It's basically I hate television. So
Yeah, you know.
all right, that's me.
But hey, I'm still looking forward to see who scales Mount Kilimanjaro, because only 2 people have done it, and I can't wait to see a third. So, all right. Well, Jimmy, what has been your disappointment this summer? What's got you feeling down? What's your summer hating?
Well, I wasn't sure when summer started, so we touched on Civil War possibly being it. So I don't think we can go back as far as Bat Soup, but
No, that's
it's hard to be disappointed.
Although that does linger. That does
Yeah.
linger. You know?
It's hard to be disappointed in something that we thought. was gonna be a
Ultimate
train
Edition
wreck.
just came out. That's
Which I haven't watched yet. I don't know. It's on my list to do. Unfortunately, I haven't. I'm
don't.
obsessed with
Why do
watching
that to
it.
yourself, Jimmy? Why do that to
Have you guys
yourself?
seen? It is getting good reviews, and I'm
Really?
wondering if just like the original was just so god awful that like anything improves it. But it's hard to imagine because they added. You know, yeah. Anyway, all right.
Sitting for 3 hours.
I'm not
record
buying
for
it.
that,
So
so
it's
some of us aren't reading.
$19.99 now. It's $19.99 now on iTunes. I'm not buying it till it's $9.99. That's the standard I give you for Bat Soup.
Wow. Okay. Bold statement, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Your disappointment.
I thought Watson was actually going to take it the way that he started. Well, I have 2 that I was thinking about. And the first being when Watson was saying about how there was nothing he was looking forward to this summer. I find this whole summer movie season has been a disappointment. There's really not
Good call.
much since Civil War that I've really been too excited about. But we'll get to what's left in the second segment.
Mhm.
I guess go ahead, Watson.
No, I agree. I agree. I was just
It's usually almost every weekend there's something you're stoked to see, and even when Independence Day came out, a movie that I liked, I have no interest in seeing the sequel for whatever reason. But I might be in the minority with what I choose as what I was disappointed in, and that is X-Men Apocalypse.
that was on my list, Jimmy.
Really?
No, Jimmy, that was on my list.
Wow. Okay.
Go
So
ahead.
Tell us
why.
One of the few blabs that you guys have done was reviewing X-Men, and I think I was in the background yelling in the minority, and I don't know, it just never worked for me first or last. Even from going into it, I wasn't sure about the look of Apocalypse. The trailers left me cold. It was just, and I have liked the majority of the X-Men movies.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, I agree, Jimmy. I mean, like, I gave X-Men Apocalypse a decent review, but it was actually on my list. I think it's disappointing. Not just, I mean, it was kind of mediocre. It was like it was like right there with X3. I mean, like, you know.
Hey.
I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater of X3, but I mean, like, they were right there, like, kind of like definitely a tier below the other ones, right? And I think the reason I was disappointed is because X-Men Days of Future Past was so damn good, right? I mean, it was like, if that one had come after something else, maybe it wouldn't have been on my list, but coming after, like, they had set it up. I mean, First Class was really a good refresh.
It's kind of like
Days of Future Past was amazing. I mean,
the The original Spider-Man trilogy, I think, suffered from that as well, where the second one was just so good. It was such a big step up that when the third one came, which actually is a slight improvement on the first, it just didn't take that same big step up.
I've never heard you say that before. I thought you always just bashed 3, my love of 3. Like, I actually like 3.
I like 3.
Is horrible.
I think 3 is slightly worse than 2. I mean, just really slightly. It's just that everyone was kind of expecting this progression for it.
No, when you say 3, I mean Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 is awful.
No. See, here's the thing. Okay, I think I've shared this on Gabbing Geek before, but I'll share it again because, like, it's just the 3 of us listening, the 3 of you guys listening. I watched, like, I would come home at lunch and get on the treadmill for like 30 minutes and watch 30 minutes of Spider-Man 3, and it was like a 3-hour movie. And so it was like I watched essentially 6 episodes. That was one of the higher quality HBO productions I had ever seen, right? It was like a 30-minute production every day. I watched 6 episodes, and it was really good. If you think about it as a series, high production value.
It was on just the other night, and I did watch it again. I still think it's a lot of fun.
When did Peter Parker learn to play jazz piano, though? That's what I know.
It's the symbiote. Come on.
Emo dance is the worst of any of the Spider-Man films.
Isn't that kind of the point that it's worse, though?
What's that, Tom?
Isn't the emo dancing kind of the point that it's terrible?
Yes. It's as
bad as Peter Parker gets. If this is Dark Peter Parker, what do we get? We get a dork dancing. Okay.
Every single movie in that series had those moments, right? From the very beginning when he's trying to figure out how to fire the webs, and then he's like, web on, flip on, and then he did the rocker symbol. I mean, they all had these corny moments. And I mean, yes, that one was a little bit cornier,
funny.
but that was come on.
Not a big Spider-Man movie fan, but
Jimmy,
we're probably digressing.
Tom, Jimmy's just disappointed because it didn't have enough hyphens. That's it, and he can't fit it into the chronology. That's what's really
hyphen.
The return of the hyphen. The hyphen return. All right, Tom, what was your disappointment so far this summer?
Well, I had 2, but I got one that kind of stands out more than the other, and that was all right. I kind of made it my personal thing to try and see the big summer releases and then review them for the site. So I've seen a lot of movies that in many cases I might have skipped.
What'd you see?
What haven't I? Let's see.
Well, if you read gabbinggeek.com, you would know all the movies that Tom saw.
Aha! But
I don't even have time to check my email, okay?
But because I'm taking a little time off right now for what the cool kids call the staycation. I had a little time to go to the movies. I've been to the movies 3 times this past weekend.
Ooh, that's a good weekend.
It would be if the movies are better. And herein lies the disappointment. I think my biggest disappointment, because I saw a couple movies like the Independence Day sequel, where I was kind of entertained. I remember going to the Warcraft movie, and I was kind of entertained. Well, I play the game, so I can't imagine anyone who doesn't play Warcraft enjoying that movie. Let me just say that right now.
Wow.
Who doesn't play? Oh, I got that. Okay, that took me a second. That was a logic puzzle that my brain shouldn't have.
I'm paying $2 for that one. When it comes out discount, I'll check that one.
Okay, but Legend of Tarzan.
Does anyone? I mean, you're the first person I know who actually saw it. Yeah.
No, it did well. It actually made like $38 million. I don't know anybody who wanted to see it.
Well, of course, because box office ticket is the same as quality. But
no. But I don't know anybody but you that's seen it. I mean, like nobody came up and said, "Hey, you see that Tarzan movie?" No. I mean,
it's another failure of the Hollywood tracking system, because it was only tracking to 20, and it ended up doing 45. So it's kind of like Deadpool, except lame.
Yeah.
What actually though, I usually go to the movies. I try to go really early, so I get the matinee price. I get home at a decent time, unless I'm going to treat myself with a trip to the Yonkers Draft House, which I did do this past week.
Yeah.
What did you see there? Was that Tarzan?
Swiss Army Men, right? Yeah, that's a Draft House movie. That's a total Draft House.
Oh yeah, I knew I could have gone local for that, but I thought, no, that's a Draft House movie. You go to Draft House.
Ryan, I may go Violet Crown for that one.
Oh no, that's way too sophisticated. There's lots of farting in it. You need to Draft House it.
Violet Crown farting is very well respected.
No, it's very refined. It's little toots.
But,
I was going to see Wiener there. Wiener.
Every time you go, you see Wiener there.
I show Wiener.
And that's what the cop said.
That's right. Oh, ba-doom.
If I may. Now, Legend of Tarzan. I mean, I don't know who thought a Tarzan movie was the thing people wanted right now. And there was a lot about it, like Alexander Skarsgård. I guess he was okay, but Tarzan barely talks in the entire movie, so it's like there's not much going on with Tarzan.
I think that girls and gay men would disagree with you.
I think I would.
It did open during Pride. That's interesting.
They just drafted his
Let me
ad.
just say that I always, when I was married, I did very well after episodes of True Blood where Alexander Skarsgård took his shirt off. I'm just saying I did very well.
He
So
might
is
have
that
done
what he's
better when he
from?
took his pants off.
It's funny because he has a very recognizable name, and I have no idea what he's in except for that one SNL sketch where he had the Sarsgaard. That's the only thing I ever remember he was in. So
He's
True
famous for True Blood, and his
everything.
father is the guy from Thor. Skarsgård.
Or his older scientist friend is his.
Yeah, the scientist.
that guy.
Alan Skarsgård.
That's his father.
That's
yeah,
his
yeah.
father. His
That's his
brother
father.
is actually.
I didn't know that.
Brothers who also act. One was on a Netflix show called Hemlock Grove, and the other's on this Viking show I just.
But it's
started.
not Peter Skarsgård. Peter Skarsgård, a famous actor, is not.
As far as I know, no, they're all Swedish.
He's not related.
So you had the Swedish.
Peter
guy,
Skarsgård is American.
You have the Swedish guy playing the English aristocrat raised in Africa. Then you had the Australian actress Margot Robbie playing his American wife Jane. And
She's
then-
so hot. I'm sorry. I got
That's what he said.
I did.
And then you had the Austrian actor Christoph Waltz playing a Belgian villain. It's like, wow.
why would they make him Belgium instead of just German? Like, that distinction is not appreciated by anyone.
The Belgians historically were the ones in the Congo.
Look, because it needed to be historically accurate.
Thank
right?
God,
For
the
another-
historical accuracy has been maintained.
And just so they didn't get and Samuel Jackson was there playing another American, so at least he got to stay his own nationality. But
What was the time frame? When is this supposed to take place?
1990s.
Okay, so it makes sense for
What?
Samuel L. Jackson to be there.
I thought that Jackson and Waltz are basically doing variations on various characters they play for Quentin Tarantino.
And wouldn't that have been a better movie if Quentin Tarantino had directed Tarzan?
Who would not see Quentin Tarantino's Tarzan?
I would see that movie.
Oh.
That might be a future segment. Quentin Tarantino directs. Put that one on the list, right?
No, I think it's done. You killed it. I mean,
Tarzan.
Tarzan is it. Yeah. Oh, well done. Cheers. That was good.
Speaking of killing, like Tom said, like, is Tarzan a dead property? Like Tarzan, the Lone Ranger, Zorro, the last three iterations of those have not done well. Are those old pulp comic or pulp novel adaptations? Are they just kind of like dead for the modern audience? Do we not
Here's the
need?
thing that struck me about this Tarzan movie. Like, Tarzan as a character is kind of notorious. Not to say Tarzan himself, but like Edgar Rice Burroughs and various movies, they show their sort of, let's say, racist attitudes towards the people who are, shall we say, more likely to look like they came from Africa.
Indigenous, yeah.
Indigenous peoples than anything else.
Not white. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Less albino.
Let's just say that Donald Trump wants to build a wall around Tarzan's movie.
Yes. Yes. Especially when the natives start speaking Spanish. Now,
And he's going to make Marvel pay
this
for it.
movie, I thought this movie actually went out of its way to try to be as, and I hate using this term, PC. Like, the villains were the white Europeans. Samuel Jackson has a monologue about what he did in the military that haunted him, involving, shall we say, Native Americans. So we got that thrown in there. There's a shot of train cars full of ivory tusks going through at one point. It's like they went out of their way to say, look at what the white man's done to Africa. This is terrible. And admittedly, it was. But
Quite honestly, Jimmy did most of it.
And at what point in the movie were they? At what point in the movie were they starting to drill for unobtainium?
Well played, sir.
Yeah.
Well played.
And by the way, while
Tom.
Tarzan was the most disappointing movie, I gotta say I saw the BFG too, and that didn't do much for me either. So
Mike,
I just saw BFG last night.
I read the book when we listened to it on tape when we were in Branson, Missouri. That was my vacation. And my son saw it. I haven't seen it yet, but they said it was kind of meh.
It is. I was almost falling asleep halfway through. The end does pick up, but then it gets very strange. I mean,
huge Spielberg bomb. It was like $140 million production value, and it opened at $17 million or something.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I know we're kind of. I mean, Tarzan, big disappointment, and this is not mine, but I will say, because Tom's review of BFG was spot on, but I thought that the one thing that was just kind of strange about it, but it does play with Spielberg, is now afraid to scare children. Right? Remember when he did the E.T. edit where he took the shotguns out of E.T. and there was so much clamor about that he put them back in? Like, BFG actually has a huge plot point towards the end of it where if you're actually just watching the movie, you said, wait a minute, that was actually never covered. That was literally never discussed, and it would have been the easiest thing to do. It was the motivation for why they're going to try to stop these bad giants. Because
really, they don't talk about eating children?
It just comes up at the end as a headline.
The book was, Roald Dahl was kind of a dark son of a bitch.
Roald Dahl stuff historically is tame from the movies.
Right, but when that happened at the end as kind of the reason for it, I was just kind of, wait, what? Why was this never mentioned at all?
They discussed in the book, they discuss exactly what children taste like from each country.
I mean, it was very obvious that they could have done this, right? Because there's times when
the was dark.
Yeah. So
we loved it. We loved it in the Watson.
So
movie.
2 points. A bunch of years ago, there was a movie version of Dahl's book, The Witches.
Yeah.
Do you guys see that?
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
A bunch of years later, I saw the movie. It was pretty good. Angelica Houston as the lead witch. At the end of the movie, the boy is turned into a mouse. Spoilers. Is turned back into a little boy. However, I learned later, if you read Dahl's book, no, he's never turned back. In fact, he's told, and by the way, you're a mouse, so you're only going to live about another year or two.
Yeah.
Your happy ending is your grandma, who takes care of you, is old, so she's probably going to die about the same time.
Well, Roald Dahl was a sick bastard. I think we can all agree.
Do you know, I didn't realize how long he lived, right? Like, we looked it up when we read the book. Recently, he died in the 90s.
Yeah,
I would have thought Roald Dahl died in the 50s.
And do you know from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
BFG was written in 82.
Everyone remembers the famous line in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when they're licking the wallpaper. The snozberries taste like snozberries. Do you know what snozberries is slang for? I'll give you a hint, Watson. You throttled it twice today.
The penis?
Yes. It was in another short story that Roald Dahl wrote where it's revealed that a snozberry is male genitalia. So he was tricking all of those kids and their parents to oral sex on his wallpaper.
It's funny because Clayton and Colin wasn't really listening to the book. We were driving around Missouri just kind of looking at scenery and everything. We put the book on.
You were in a haze.
Colin had his ear
fugue state.
Clayton and I were listening. And I'll tell you what, the BFG, the description of, I don't know what the vegetable he eats, but it was so
snozcumbers or
snozcumbers. Yeah, I mean, snoz. It sounded like dick. Okay, because it was and it sounded like a dick with herpes because it had bumps and everything, but it was long and cylindrical, and you took a big bite of it and it juiced in your mouth. I mean, me and Clayton were cracking up, and I was sitting there going, "This is my boy."
And it's not and now you know it's not unintentional.
No, I have to tell Clayton that it's been revealed that's the most phallic book in the world. Everything, we were giggling the whole time.
Well, if I could just throw in a second point here about Spielberg real fast.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the things I really appreciate about Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That is the only time Spielberg wasn't yay, family's awesome. When you consider Richard Dreyfuss just abandons his wife and kids, and the movie presents that as the absolute right thing to do. And
I believe you said that in our review of our rewatch of it, Ryan.
Yeah.
And I've seen, as Spielberg in interviews says that, when he made Close Encounters, he was a single man, and so he didn't want to get tied down. And now that he's married multiple times and had kids, he's kind of really reversed his whole take on that. But he's kind of always been, unless he's doing like a Schindler's List, I think Spielberg's always been very much a play it safe in many ways. I remember watching Color Purple with a friend of mine, and she pointed out that just when if you the source material, just before the big, shall we say, lesbian Luzfest happens, the camera moves away. Now, granted, I'm not sure who wants to see Whoopi Goldberg
was
do that,
1980.
but
It was 84, wasn't it? Or
Yeah, it was mid-80s.
I mean,
well, I watched like a friend and I. Like I said, I watched with a friend. And it was in the mid-90s when we saw it, and she was like, "Oh, Spielberg," and he kind of chickened out on it, and it just kind of implied it heavily. I think Spielberg's always been a bit of that kind of play it safe kind of guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think he's a very artful storyteller, and that might be why he finally got his Oscar for Schindler's List, because he clearly wasn't trying to clean up the Holocaust.
Yeah. That was brutal. That was a brutal film. Hold on, before we move off Spielberg, just a real cool summer experience for me. Right before I went on vacation to the fantastic Branson, Missouri, my boys and I went to the Alamo Drafthouse presentation of Jaws on the Water. It was really cool. So it's an Austin area kind of thing, where they go out to this kind of lake and put out a big screen and do like a drive-in sort of projection of Jaws, but you're all in inner tubes on the water, and people are like, swimming around underneath, tickling people's feet. Really cool experience. So again, Alamo Drafthouse really nails
it. They always do.
Ryan, wrap us up on disappointment.
So I'll say my disappointment, and it's a small one, but because I really liked the movie, I've just been disappointed that it hasn't found the audience. And that's Now You See Me Too. I really enjoyed it, and now I'm concerned that the third one.
It's not going to happen. I told you.
Well, I mean, it's weird because, unlike some other movies where, like they did a sequel and it's performing, mediocre, so maybe they'll do a third one. In this case, they actually signed everyone for 2 more movies. So this is going to be a case of it has to do badly enough to prevent the next one. So I'm like, every day I'm hitting reload on the Box Office Mojo to see how international is doing.
China was 15 million opener. I think.
Yeah, I mean it's getting close to the first one in terms of international. So who knows? But
movies go up.
I know. But I liked it so much, and I just
coffee bet that it never made.
I don't know, because I don't want I don't want to lose, because I'll be sad.
Sad and coffeeless.
I know, it's just the worst. But because we've been rewatching the first one, because I let the boys go to see after I saw the second one and realized, that's safe enough to see. I let them watch the first one and then took them to the second one, and they're just so much fun. So
the card scene in the server room was brilliant.
That's a fantastic scene, and there's a couple of other twists, and of course there's plot holes, and I don't like the fact that they rewrote stuff from the first movie for the second. So, but I'm also curious as to, they did that for a reason, and I think that's to set up the third movie. But now we may never know what that setup is, and I'm just when you tell someone that they never found the body, if it's Chekhov's gun, but now that we may never see it get fired, and I'm very, very disappointed. So
it will never be fired. It was a decent movie. I enjoyed it. I don't know if they should have put that out in the summer. That could have been probably better in like early spring, early fall, like October. That would have been a good October movie.
But it hit, like the first one hit during the summer, right? So
late, but it was August. It was an August release.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. That did that well in August. Wow. Well,
maybe late July. I don't know. It was like late summer.
So that's my disappointment. I'm sad. Okay, but you know what? Enough of the bad news.
Enough.
No more disappointing. No more. We still have some summer left. There's some goodness out in the world. We just have to find it. We have to cling to those hopes, those dreams.
It's there.
The beauty in the world. I saw a plastic bag drifting in the wind, and I was just, no. We're going to do some actual beauty, some actual things we're looking forward to. What's left? You're pointing down. On my screen, you're pointing at Jimmy. So
that's what I was pointing at too.
Okay, wow. Our squares are in sync. So Jimmy.
No, hold on. Is that Tom?
To me,
am
that's
I pointing
Tom.
off to the? Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's Jimmy.
Up and down works, left and right doesn't. Yeah, okay.
Well, hey,
for those of you listening at home,
hear that a lot, Watson. So, Jimmy, why don't you tell us?
That's why they got the Viagra.
What are you looking forward to in the rest of this summer? What are you clinging to help save this summer?
August 31st.
Is that the cutoff? Is that the?
Yes.
Okay.
Or Labor Day.
September 21st is technically the first day of fall.
Well, Jimmy doesn't really celebrate Labor Day.
Okay, Jimmy, if you want something the second week of September, you go right ahead. What the hell's in the football season? That's all you got. And for you, that means something else, probably like Canadian rules or something. God damn it, Jimmy! Pick the answer.
You got your Canadian bacon.
Oh, all right, Jimmy. What you looking forward
all
to?
right. Well, I guess my first choice when I thought about this would be Suicide Squad.
All right, that's what I figured most people would have. Yeah.
But my gut tells me that it should probably be Jason Bourne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a good choice.
So it's kind of a toss up with those. There's like I was.
Way to take two answers, Jimmy. You
Greg joined.
Greg, what's up, Greg?
Like I said earlier, it's there's not many movies I was looking forward to this summer, so that's all that's really left.
Hi, Dat Shepard. Sorry, we've got some other people joining. Welcome.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about Bourne before. I mean, that's just a fun series, and coming back to it. I mean, I will say I saw the latest commercial today, and to me, it was giving a little bit too much away.
I haven't seen that. So.
I haven't either, and I'm not going to.
Avoid it.
I'm going to see it because it's Matt Damon and Jason Bourne, but I'm worried. I'm not with you, Jimmy.
Really?
No?
Why are you looking forward to it? Other than the fact that the first three were excellent and got better every time. other than trends and trajectories. I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah,
there was kind of a mediocre movie between it. I mean, did you like Bourne Revisit? What was the Jeremy Renner? Bourne Legacy? Was that what it was?
Bourne Legacy, yeah. It was okay for an action movie. It didn't do much for me in terms of the Bourne franchise.
Yeah,
but I've read all the. Well, I won't say all, but the majority of the books. I read all Ludlum's books, and I've read some of the newer ones that have come out, and I've enjoyed those, and I really loved all the movies. So I guess after the disappointment of Legacy, I'm looking forward to Damon getting back and just how they handle it. And like you said, they progressively got better, and
they did.
It'll be funny to see if that fight scene of him that they've been showing in the commercials in the actual movie, if it lasts longer than a punch. Right, because that's what they've shown us from the very beginning is him just walking up to that guy and just the single punch, right? And
but
it's just kind of funny.
Very Indiana Jones, with the whip and the gun.
I'm with you on Legacy. Like to me, Legacy was kind of fun, and then it just ended, and you're like, wait, really? Is this seriously the end? Like, I mean, the credits are rolling, but that's a joke, right? We're gonna. It felt like 2/3 of a movie, and I don't know what the story was out there, but. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you on that. Tom, what are you clinging to? What's the goodness that is still out there?
Well, part of me was thinking maybe Suicide Squad. I'm actually.
Let's go with that. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, my other option was the Riff Tracks reunion that's airing next Tuesday, but. Jimmy and I have a friend who was at the live one of it just last week or so. But I'm not sure I'm going to go to that for a variety of reasons. But I'm thinking to myself, how much of the problems with the DC cinematic universe have been due to the fact Zack Snyder's directed every one of those movies so far? And I'm kind of curious what happens if you put a different, potentially, I don't know anything about this guy, more competent action director behind the camera. And see what comes out. I think the trailers look intriguing. I'm kind of looking forward to Jared Leto's Joker for some reason. And,
I think part of the question is how much, because Snyder still got his hands in the cookie jar kind of thing. Like, how much of a role does he have?
Supposedly, Marvel has a house style, and all their movies basically look more or less the same. Some talented directors have figured out a way around that. James Gunn and Guardians of the Galaxy, the Russo brothers. Tell me you can tell we've got 2 Thor movies from 2 different directors. We've got a third one with a third director coming. And they all 3 of the Thor movies, the Thor movies all look basically the same. It's the coloring, the pacing. It's very generic. And it's good.
Generic, that's a good word.
I like the way they do it. I really enjoy those movies.
Conventional, maybe a better word, Tom, than
Conventional, yes.
generic. Yeah.
That's a very conventional style for the MCU. Supposedly, Warner Brothers is going to let their individual directors for the DC movies establish their own styles. So they'll be more experimental in how they turn out. So I'm kind of curious if they're actually going to do that. And so that's basically what I'm looking to see with Suicide Squad. Is it going to be distinctive enough in the directorial style from the notorious Bat Soup that it might be actually a better movie as a result?
Right. Will it not suck? That's
and to that point,
I'm getting worried. Okay, because you guys know I'm a huge I think on the 3rd episode of Gabbing Geek ever, and we're on 66, which means we've been on for like 12 years with our production values. I called that I wanted a Suicide Squad movie, Ryan, before they ever announced it. You remember, right?
Absolutely.
On record, I mean, this was huge for me.
Yeah.
And I am so worried that, like what Jimmy said, is Snyder making it kind of too Snyder-esque. I mean, like, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm looking forward to it. It was on my list, Tom, so I'm glad you covered it.
We're all curious. We're definitely all curious.
Because let's yes or no answer from the panel. If this movie kind of is in the same disappointing area as Bat Soup, is the DC cinematic universe in big trouble? Yes or no? Ryan?
Yes.
Yeah. Tom?
They apparently finished filming Wonder Woman, so I don't know.
Jimmy?
I don't think Suicide Squad has enough clout to put it in trouble, any more trouble than it already is. And
good commentary.
To Tom's point, Wonder Woman is finished. They're going to make Justice League for sure.
League is probably the decider, you think?
But I think Justice League will determine.
But it's exactly that why I think this would actually kill them if it's just as bad, because Batman versus Superman had these two big icons, and we know what they did with that. Suicide Squad had all these other characters. They were free to do whatever, and if it sucks just as much, then we're going to say, you know what? Every other DC movie is in between, and it's all going to be the same. Yeah.
What if it sucks in a unique way?
Well, speaking of Watson's love life, had to.
Hey.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Yes. What are you looking forward to, or was Suicide Squad it? Were you just going with the Suicide Squad, Watson?
Me? No, I mean, yes, that was probably what I was going to answer, but I will go with something that's actually piqued my interest in the last couple of weeks with a couple of trailers. I want to see a hard R-rated animated film, The Sausage Party. Have you guys seen the previews of this? It's Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
It's like the first big, CGI, Pixar-esque, DreamWorks-esque production, but it's a hard R. It's Sausage Party. It's about food that did not realize that food gets eaten. And it just looks so freaking hilarious. The trailers have just captured me. I'm going to go see that on opening weekend. I'm going to be so drunk. And I mean, it is definitely an Alamo Drafthouse sort of production. That movie looks hilarious. Have you guys seen the previews? Thoughts?
Yeah.
The trailers look funny. Yeah.
I feel like we've seen the funny parts in the trailers.
I don't care. I want to see him again.
I'm just worried for the other 90 minutes.
That's my concern. How they can drag it out for
it's only 88 more minutes. Thank you, Jimmy. That's right.
Yeah, I am curious though, because it is intriguing, and the trailer is very well done. Yeah,
I think there's some hardcore stuff we haven't seen. I think wieners are going to be doing wieners.
Well, there's wieners and buns as the main characters, so of course
there's going to be. Look, I want at least one scene in the milieu of Team America, or what was
exactly
it?
What I was thinking.
I want to see. I want to see puppets doing puppets. I mean, I want to see a hot dog giving it to a bun. I mean, that's
Yeah,
That's
but Watson, we see that every time you have a barbecue at your place. I mean, that's just,
giggity goo,
yeah,
right? I mean, yeah.
that's your passion.
Nobody
Always too
eats
much
the
of that
hot
one.
dogs. They all go with the hamburgers at the Watson barbecue,
Yep.
right? Because there's a production value.
That's. I mean, the first time I was like, why does he have a squeeze tube of mayonnaise? And then we all found out.
It was not.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Well, that's a good one.
What's yours, Ryan?
Well, I had a movie and a comic, but I'm gonna stick with the movie because that's a little bit more approachable. And to me,
What's your comic, Ron?
what's that? Oh,
What's your
it was Walking Dead. After the arc they just started, it was just amazing. I'm looking forward to the next few. But for the movie, call me a fanboy, call me a I'm totally in their pocket.
Can we call you Ishmael?
I'm looking forward to Star Trek. I am, because I love the experience of going to see a new Star Trek film, even when I've walked out hating it, like Nemesis, like Nemesis, like or what was that other one? Nemesis. There's lots of bad Star Trek films out there, but
not Star Trek 5. We all know that was an underrated gem.
Wow. From Yosemite to the center of the galaxy. It was, I still love the experience of going to see a Star Trek film. It's something I grew up with. I actually really like the reboots. I still liked Into Darkness.
I liked Into Darkness. I liked that quite a bit.
love the Fast and the Furious franchise. The fact that they brought the director over, like, to me, this is, earlier you were talking about what if Quentin Tarantino directed Tarzan, right? Like a couple years ago, be like, what if Fast and the Furious directed Star Trek? And like, I'm getting that. So, your Quentin Tarantino kind of dream, I'm getting it. I'm getting it this month. So I'm really looking forward.
When does it open? When does it open?
July 22nd. Is that
we may need to do a Friday afternoon movie. We haven't done one of those in a while. You and I need to go see that because that's the only way I'm going to see it is if I see it with you.
That's right. That's
or the discount cinema. Or the discount
I don't know
cinema.
if I want to see it with you because you're going to be like, oh, this is. And I'm going to be like, yeah.
You no, hold on. Hold on. I did not want to see
Mad Max
Planet of the Apes 2 with you. You
That's
forced
right.
me to go.
That's right.
And during the middle, I had to stop myself from standing up and saying, apes on horses with machine guns. That movie was so awesome. I can be proven wrong.
And Mad Max. Mad Max Fury Road. You were not.
I saw that one twice.
I know. But you like halfway through the movie when the motorcycle guys were coming over. The motorcycle guys. That was exactly the moment.
I saw that with you the first time, and I turned to you and said, I'm wrong. I did. You're right.
It was motorcycles. And you know what Star Trek Beyond has?
Motorcycles.
Yeah, because when I watch a Star Trek movie, what I really think is this needs more motorcycles.
Tom, you are so correct.
But you haven't seen it yet.
I'm in.
I'm going to see this movie. I went to the Legend of Tarzan for crying out loud.
But like Legend of Tarzan had like the stuff that you mentioned, we could have all predicted that was going to be in there, right?
And I still went.
We have no idea what's going to be in this Star Trek. There could be Lamborghinis, there could be Corvettes, there could be a Mustang GT, there could
be stuff they only shot 2 months ago.
there could be a Tesla. It could happen. I'm
future. They're all Teslas.
Ryan, I'm just loving how the further they go into the show, my video feed makes it look like somebody's last known photograph.
You're fading away. It's a Back to the Future moment.
Tom, if you ever disappear, we're like actually going to copy paste this photo. Okay, one finger in your ear.
Yeah, look for a guy walking around with a finger in his ear. What were you saying, Jimmy?
I'm a big Star Trek fan too, and I've liked most of the movies. Of course, the odd and even thing, whatever. But I've mentioned a few times on, I don't know if it was on the podcast or definitely on Tom's site, gabbinggeek.com, that the trailers have reminded me of Nemesis, as you brought up, which kind of worries me. But what also sticks to me now about potentially worrying me was that when we were sitting down and talking about what we were looking forward to this summer, Star Trek never even came to my mind. That's how much I'm looking forward to it. But now that you bring it up, I do want to see it, but I'm very concerned about it because
It's-
I know
but it's
you love
Star
the
Trek.
motorbikes and stuff, but
Star Trek can survive Nemesis. Do you know what I mean? Like it may take a while, and it may cause some,
it'll survive for sure.
yeah. So that's why that to me it's just the experience of having a new Star Trek film. I'm so looking forward to it. I always am whenever there's newness out there. So well, there we go. So hey, there's some glimmers of joy left in the summertime. So fantastic conversation about our disappointments and things that we're looking to in this episode. Why don't we tell people how they can reach us on the social medias? Tom, I think we know what you're going to say, but why don't you go ahead and say it? How can people reach you on the social medias?
Taking the article written by Tom K74 on GabbingGeek.com.
And that's
Or at Tom Kell with
You
2
can try my
L's,
Twitter today,
451-72369.
I love that song. Just about yeah. That was
Jenny, you got my number.
72369. That was a good one. It's catchy. Jimmy, how can people reach you on the social medias?
Go to gabbinggeek.com and tag anything that's not by Tom or and I've lost it.
A spam bot.
Spam bot.
Yeah. Just
cosplay.
Just search
Or the-
spider.
Jenny doesn't do it anymore.
Very popular
Jenny doesn't
articles on the site these days, movie posters without text.
Ooh.
William Watson.
I did that way back in the day.
And yet, that's what I see the top
Still
10
going.
rather frequently.
So, Watson, how can people reach you?
Twitter at Witty Watts.
There you go. And you can reach me at Some Geek Lawyer. You can reach all of us at Gabbing Geeks. Go to gabbinggeek.com. Email us at gabbinggeek@gmail.com. Come back to the Blab Station when we do our next Blabcast, whatever we're going to do. But
Next week.
Oh, it's going to be so exciting. But
Jenny will be back.
Let's find out what we learned today.
What did we learn today, Ryan?
We learned Quentin Tarantino directing Tarzan would be kick-ass.
That would be epic.
That would did I accidentally swing into your head? That would be great. In fact, that's what we should do. We should have a Quentin Tarantino Tarzan quote competition.
Nice.
So
nice.
okay, we'll
Swinging
keep
to your
that up.
head sounds more like the Big Lebowski crossed with Tarzan.
That's well you have to tweak it a little bit.
Okay.
Second thing we learned, Roald Dahl may love penis more than William Watson. Just may. I mean,
I love my penis. Okay, I don't love anybody else's. It's a singular peni.
Protesting.
Nice.
And finally, we learned we're all kind of looking forward to Suicide Squad.
Kind of.
You know, it's
but with reservations.
yes.
With reservations.
Yes.
Okay.
So, hey, fantastic episode for Gabbing Geek 66. Be sure to come back and join us for Gabbing Geek 67. But until then, I want to leave you all with my favorite quote from the movie Warcraft.